So whenever you have an egg donor, in most states, laws are established for sperm donation, and that's not the case for egg donation. Most states don't have laws about egg donors protecting the intended parents so that the egg donor doesn't come back, or protecting their confidentiality. So most of the time with an egg donor, a contract is really a necessary element of the process. One of the key things is when you do a contract is you really would like to have representation on both sides. You want an attorney to represent the egg donor and another attorney to represent the recipient parents. And if the egg donor doesn't have counsel and isn't fully understanding what she's signing, then it really isn't an appropriate document for her to be signing. And you can address a lot of issues in an egg donation contract. You can address confidentiality, what's going to happen if something happens down the road to the recipient parent's child, like there's an illness and you want to get more information. Will the egg donor be willing to be contacted for that? Is there a third-party repository to keep that information so that it stays anonymous? What happens if 5 years down the line the egg donor has an illness? You want to make sure that that isn't something you'd be responsible for, even if they can prove that the illness is related to the egg donation. Egg donors take on some risk in the process, and they need to understand that there is some risk. What expenses are going to be reimbursed, what kind of compensation they're going to get, whether or not a 1099 is directly going to be sent to them, how long it's going to take to get their compensation. Like, are they going to get it on the day of their retrieval, or will it be 2 weeks after? Are they going to get lost wages and daycare? Are they going to have to give updated information if, let's say, they donate eggs to yet another couple? Are all those couples going to know how many times this woman donated her eggs? How many children are out there? What are the tax implications? Who's going to be responsible for the taxes? That's all going to be in your contract. You always want to make sure you have an egg donation insurance policy that, God forbid, something happens in the first 3 months after the egg retrieval, or immediately after the egg retrieval, that the egg donor's medical complications are covered. Some egg donors want to know, did you have a child? So if you give birth, I want to know that you gave birth to a child, and I want to know that child's birth date, so that if I have a child around that time, our children don't marry or our children don't meet up. So they want to know the sex and the birth date of any children you have. A very big question that we ask a lot of the egg donors too is, do you consent for these embryos to be given to another party in the event that there are left over? That may not have been the donor's intention to give her eggs to more than just this one family. You don't want to just go to your regular family law attorney, because they probably have no experience in this area, and they're not going to know all of the things to put into the contract, and they're not going to know how to adequately represent the parents or the egg donor's interests. So it's really important to go to somebody who's done a number of these, and you should ask, how long have you been in this field? How many egg donor contracts have you done? How many egg donors have you represented? Are you a member of any of the reproductive associations? Because your regular run-of-the-mill family attorney is never going to have seen this, and the contract that they write is not going to adequately protect everyone's interests.